Hello there and welcome. Welcome to this Facebook Live called What's Really Being Communicated. Did you realize that communication is just 7% verbal, right? Just the words of speaking, just 7% is communicated, okay? Because 93% of our communications with other people, including our potential and prospective customers, is non-verbal, okay? So 7% is the speaking we do, and 93% of our communications with our potential customers is non-verbal. And of the non-verbal, body language is 55% of it, and your voice is 38% of it. Great marketers pay very, very special attention to this non-verbal communication. I am no expert in this area. Sure, I've been around a long time, but I've learned some things about body language and non-verbal communication that work for me, and I thought if I shared them with you, you may find them helpful. Quite often, they are things you are always aware of, but when you get into a sales situation, you tend to forget that very fact, okay? I mean, really, the good news is this. Reading body language, non-verbal communications, is a skill that anybody can learn. You don't need to be Einstein, okay? You can learn it. And once you learn it, then your communication capacity is truly enhanced. And your sales potential, obviously, is going to go through the roof, all right? My name is Peter Beckett, I'm the village marketer, and as always, talking to you from my little Thai village way up near the Cambodian border. Let me stop and just say hello to Janif, thank you. Sanjay, thanks for joining me. Billy Pickett, sorry I'm late, mate. I'm here now. Paul Henderson, good to see you, matey. Jackie Blaine, Araceli, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it, okay? I'm hoping, and Jim Toms, thank you. Even body language can come through the phone. It can, Jim, you're right. Body language can come through the phone. And I'll talk about that. It's called tone, your tone. Okay, let me come back to that. Lynette Cheng, thanks for joining. Ruth Martin, good to see you as well. Thank you very much. All right. Now, I'm no expert on body language. A lot of fun, to be quite frank with you. But let's start. Let's start with the eyes, right? When you're talking to a potential customer, okay, watch their eyes. Now, you don't look into their eyes like some romantic fool, right? But you look in their eyes and you see what they're looking at. Now, if they're looking at you, then obviously they're paying attention to you. But if they're staring at you like this, right, really staring at you, trying to stare you down, that's not looking at you. That means they want to interrupt you. That means, hey, there's something wrong here. Or maybe they're a nutcase. I'm not sure either, right? But be careful with their eyes, okay? Libet, thanks for joining. And Stevie Hall, thanks, matey. Good to see you. And by the way, if you want any questions, ask me. I'm not an expert, but I'll do my best to answer, right? So what you need to be aware of this, wherever your prospect eyes are looking, that's what they're thinking about. If they're looking at you, they're thinking about you. If they're looking at maybe some papers you've given them, then they're probably studying the papers you've given them. If they're looking at the door, then they're probably thinking they want to leave because you're boring the pants off them, right? So where they're looking is going to give you a body language signal of whether you're communicating effectively or not. Steve Hall, hello, mate. Hello. Good to see you. Okay. Next, by the way, with the eyes, also, oh, I should be in Hollywood. I mean, if they're raising, did I do that right? If they're raising their eyebrows, then they're probably looking at what's this guy all about, right? I mean, they're not believing you in one way, shape, or form. I mean, the eyes will tell you a lot of things, and the eyebrows. If they're smiling and they're nodding to you, etc., well, that's good news, okay, because you're relating to each other, and everybody realizes that, okay? Not many people smile and fake it and nod it if they're thinking inside no, right? So that's one. Another thing is, in terms of the opposite to smiling, if their face is a little bit tensed, right? I know I'm going to do this. I'm going to try. If they're tensed, their face is tensed, or their lips are pursed like this, right? Or they're strained in their neck muscle like this. You can see strains here. if things like this, or the narrowing of their eyes. I don't know how to do that. I'm laughing too much. If they, or they, hang on, I'm got to think this. You're telling me something I don't believe. Are my eyes narrow? I don't know. If my eyes are narrowed, then, or I'm clicking my nose, okay, or I'm sort of scratching my head like this. And all these are signals that like, hey, there's something wrong here. I'm not really accepting what you're telling me, or I don't believe what you're telling me, or I'm bored, or I am disinterested. Whatever it is, you need to stop whatever you're doing and re-engage me. Okay, Mark Newsom, good to see you, Mark. Long time no see. Thank you for joining me. Okay. Ah, wow. Just made my day, Mark Newsom. Thank you very much. All right. Next one. Pretty simple. If people are leaning forward, okay, like this, they're interested, aren't they? They're leaning forward. You've got them leaning forward. They're interested. If they're leaning back, doesn't mean they're not interested. They might be a bit darn arrogant. But if they're like this, okay, and they've got their arms above their head, be quite frank, they're probably trying to intimidate you. Okay? They probably are trying to intimidate you. And there's another way they try to intimidate you as well, too, you know, and that is by tapping their finger. You can't see me tapping on the desk. tapping my fingers, etc., right? That they're trying to intimidate. If they're trying to intimidate you, right, but that way, stop what you're doing and say, what's on your mind? Share with me what's on your mind. Break the ice, okay? These are non-verbal signals that you need to do. If you really want to be successful with your sales conversation and you've got somebody leaning back like this and, you know, like I am Donald Trump's successor or whatever it may be, okay? No, let's not get into a political discussion, right? But if that's their attitude to you, they're probably looking at you with a condescending thought in their head. They're probably thinking, who in the heck are you? They're probably not agreeing with you. They're not sharing anything with you at all. So you've got to break the ice. The body language is giving you the messages. What you do with it is up to you, okay? Penny Clegg, thanks for joining. Good to see you. Thank you very much. All right. Now, next one. If they're playing around with something on the desk, right? Pens and whatever, you can't see pens and whatever it is, okay? And once again, that's another indication they're losing interest in you. They're not paying attention to you, okay? Here's another one. I learned this. If someone's in a chair and they're leaning on one of the arms of the chair and they've got their head like this on the arm of the chair, they're wanting to leave. They've had enough of you. You've done your bit. You've done your dash. And to be quite frank, they're just being polite. They're just letting you go on because they don't want you. They don't want to be here anymore. Okay. If they're doing that, whether they're nodding their head, if they're smiling, it's probably a fake one. Right? So be careful with that. All right. Now another one. If they're pointing at you like this or jabbing a finger at you like this, that is pretty tough. When people are doing this, okay, whether they got a smile on their face or not, this is very in-your-face stuff. Stop what you're doing. Thanks for the laughs. I'm trying to be serious here. Axel, thanks for joining. If they're pointing at you, right, then sure, they may be trying to intimidate you, but they're also trying to stop you. They're trying to get your attention, right? So bear that in mind, okay? Now, as we said earlier, and Tom said this, you can pick people's body language over the phone. And Tom should know because he ran a whole lot of years doing telemarketing, okay? I'll give you a plug here, Jim. Now, the bottom line is this. It's your tone that they pick up on the phone, okay? They actually pick up your tone. Now, the deeper your tone, the more authority, the more leadership you will display, the more respect you will engender, right? So if you're speaking very deeply like this, then you will have more respect. If you're speaking up here like that, then you're going to drive people crazy, all right? So your tone and the speed of your speech, okay, is very important. Very, very important. Now let's get back to the body. What's really important is for you to maintain a good posture, a really good posture, okay? Joanne Dyer, thank you for joining. Okay. Hi, Axel. Good to see you too. Now, if you're upright, okay, if you're really upright like this, that also gives good leadership, authority, and position of confidence, right? But if you're slumping like this and your shoulders are slumped down like this, then you're really giving it a very clear indication. Even if you're saying the right words, they get the message, and the message you're sending to people is you're not really believe what you're talking about, and you're a little bit scared of even what you're saying, and you're not even sure about it, and you want to get out of there as quick as you can. But I wish that guy would sign the check and just be done with it, because I'm hating what I'm doing here, and you're making me feel awkward and uncomfortable, and I wish you hadn't come. All these things, right? It goes through their head, right? So be careful with that, okay? Another one, if a prospect's body is facing away from you, right, and their hands are facing away from you, that's also an indication. I mean, their body's facing away, but they're looking at you like this, right? That's also an indication they're not really wrapped up in you. You know when they're wrapped up in you, when they're facing you and they're leaning forward. That's what you need to know. If they're leaning back and they're turning like this and they're just throwing their head over their shoulder at you, then you are having a bit of a battle, okay? You need to get them engaged. And the body language signals are telling you exactly that. Forget what the words are, watch the body language, all right? Another thing, if their arms are folded, okay, then they are cutting you out. Then they don't want you to come in. Then they don't expect or believe what you're saying. They don't want any more information from you. That's what they're saying. You've got to get their arms unfolded. You've got to get their arms open, because if their arms are open and welcoming, then you are engaging properly. Does that make sense? By the way, when it comes with their feet, now I can't show you my feet here. Well, I can, but it's going to wouldn't look very good on a Facebook Live, right? The bottom line is this: watch their feet. Don't spend all day looking at their feet. Just check their feet. If their feet are pointing at you, then they are paying attention to you as well. If their feet are pointing away from you, they're not paying attention, and they're probably wanting to leave. So their feet and their eyes and their body are telling you all these messages, right? If they're bouncing or tapping their feet, by the way, it means they are irritated and they've had enough, right? If they're bouncing their foot up and down, it's not anxiety, it's they're sick of it. You've done your bit, all right? So what's the message of all this stuff? The message is to try to match and mirror them. Please don't imitate them. That will really, you said the wrong word there. That will really upset them, all right? But if you match and mirror what they do, okay? If they're leaning back a bit, then you lean back a little bit. If they're leaning forward, then you lean forward, okay? If they smile, you smile. If they're speaking rather slowly, you match them and speak a little bit slower. If they're speaking a little bit quicker, speak a little bit quicker. If they're speaking very deeply like this, if you do your best, you can lower your tone a little bit, right? If you can. But not to imitate them, just to try and mirror them a fraction, all right? Jean, thank you for joining, all right? Hope you're enjoying it, okay? So the idea of mirroring and matching is to reflect back to them the same gestures, the same movements, the same posture, and it helps build a relationship with you. Remember, I told you at the beginning, 93% of your communication is non-verbal, right? Do not rely on your words to build rapport. If you do that, you're dead in the water. All these other things I've been sharing with you are an essential part of building your rapport. I can give you all the questions in the world to ask to build rapport, but if you're using the wrong body language, it's a waste of time. All right? I hope that message is understood. All of us know about body language, but a lot of us forget about the importance of it in the stress and the pressure of the moment when you're talking one-on-one with somebody, or you're on the phone with somebody and you consider in their mind, this person is so important to me, I hope I don't stuff this call up, etc., etc. Your tone's going to be impacted. It'll be impacted automatically. Okay, think that through before you do it. Please, I hope you've got that message from this very simple look at body language. Okay, call to action for you. One, if you want more information, not on body language expertise, because I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing some thoughts with you. Hopefully it rings some bells, right? And reminds you more than anything else. But if you want some ideas about how to build your sales and build yourself and your personality and your authority online and get yourself to the next level, come and check out our Facebook group, Your Next Level. Very appropriate name, right? Your Next Level. If it's of interest to you, by all means, I'd look at approving you to join us, okay? Secondly, call to action, very important. If you're having a problem getting people to say yes to you, even though you've got all the right body language, right? And you're doing the right thing and you're smiling and they're nodding and all this stuff, right? We just shared. And they're still saying no to you, then send me a personal message. If you're watching this on the live or replay, if you're watching on YouTube, leave me a comment. Send me a message for my free PDFs called Let's Talk Turkey. Let's Talk Turkey. That should help you overcome some of those challenges you've got with people who are saying no to you up front. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much. I hope you got some value from it. If you did, please leave me a comment, leave me a like. Okay, if you think it's worthwhile, share it to other people, and I would be delighted if you did that. Thank you very much for sharing your time. Joanna and Jean and Marky Davis, mirroring online, match your sentences the same length as. Good point, Mark Davis. Good point. I didn't say that. Yes, exactly. When you are mirroring someone, make sure you speak the same length of sentences that they do. If they speak short sentences, you speak short sentences. Okay. Paul Henderson, very interesting observation. My pleasure, Paul. Good. Thanks for joining me, mate. All right. In the interim, many blessings from Thailand. If you need any help in any way with your sales and marketing, reach out and ask me. That's what I'm all about. Okay. Until next time, all the best for Thailand. Bye for now. Bye.